What would you do in this situation? You now have a third grader and you're eager to talk to them about their day. And in talking to them, you found out that a child got sent home from school today for inappropriate behavior in the classroom. And it sounded really vague. You couldn't really get a lot of details. So you keep just kind of asking questions, try and figure out what's really going on. Come to find out, your third grader has been playing with a group of kids, including the child who got sent home that day. And they have been playing very sexual games during recess. And they go to a part of the playground where the recess aide can't see them. And this child has been teaching them some things of a very sexual nature. Thankfully, clothing has all been intact the entire time, but they're just kind of acting out things that as an adult are probably the result of this child looking at pornography, kind of sharing with their friends what they've been seeing. And at this point, with your third grader, you've had the conversation about private parts, about respecting people. You've also read the Good Pictures, Bad Pictures book, and they know what to do when they see pornography. This was kind of a different situation, and they didn't really know how to handle it. In talking to them, you know that they realized what they were doing was not okay. They kind of felt bad about it, but they didn't really know how to handle it. What's the protocol for if something like this is happening at school? So this is a really great opportunity to teach them about how to handle some of these situations. When they were younger, you might have practiced with them what to do in certain situations, and that is something that can continue clear through when they're in high school if they need it. Some kids just need to think through and practice through how to handle potentially awkward situations when they don't exactly know how to stand up for what they know is right, um, in a way that doesn't make them feel super judgmental or kind of ostracize them from their friend group. And some of them are really nervous about that. But it is important to teach them to stand up. Now, you'll find that some kids don't have a problem with it at all. And that's why it's really important that you know your child and that you're having conversations about what healthy sexuality looks like all along from the time they're preschool age through when they leave your home, so that it's very normal in your home to have these discussions. So ideally, you would work through with them what maybe they didn't handle well and maybe practice what they could do in the future. Could create a plan about, hey, if this child is doing these things and you know that it's wrong, number one, you should not be participating. But number two, when it's things like this of a sexual nature, you need to tell the teacher, you need to tell the recess aide, that sort of behavior is not acceptable at school or in any public places. And so if someone is engaging in that behavior, you need to let a trusted adult know, because it can be extremely unsafe and lead to some big consequences if it's not addressed quickly and appropriately by people who are in charge. The school guidance counselors have so many great resources and are wonderful helps in this kind of a situation. I think it's also important in an ideal situation that you would have a conversation with your child's teacher, with the principal, make sure the recess aide knows what's going on, and just let them know what's happening. Because if they're aware and they can stop that behavior before it even becomes an issue, and they can get support to the kids who, like that child who got sent home, to the ones who are struggling with this, that just starting young and helping that support get in place before it becomes a much bigger problem in the future is really important. And I think that's an important thing that adults just need to do when they're in these kind of situations. You need to let the other adults that are in positions of authority know what's happening so that they can help take care of it as well. And then on our end, in our own homes, we need to make sure that we're teaching our children our standards for what is appropriate, what healthy sexuality looks like at different stages. And we need to be that safe, approachable place so that when they have questions, they know they can come talk to us and we will help them. How would you have handled that specific situation? Leave your comments below. I'd like to know what your opinions are about these very tricky, delicate situations where not everybody's family has the same standards when it comes to sexuality. And we need to navigate being respectful of everybody's different beliefs while also understanding that there are certain things that are not okay to do at school or in public settings that may be okay in different households. How have you navigated that, and what would you do in this scenario? If you would like extra support in learning and understanding how to navigate healthy sexuality and teach your children how to navigate it, I wrote this little guidebook specifically for parents about teaching healthy sexuality in our home, recognizing that this is not a one-time conversation. This is something we need to be discussing from the time our children are very young. And I know as a parent, it can feel like that's happening far too soon. But with the world that we live in today, we need to give our children the tools that they need to be able to navigate all the confusing messages that they are receiving constantly outside of our home and sometimes within our own home, depending on kind of the rules we have set up about technology. If you can use some support in this area, you can find this book on my website. I have audio, ebook, and print formats available. You can also find a link to my free resources page below, and you can find a link to schedule a guidance session with me if you could use some one-on-one support in this area in creating a plan specifically for your family and their needs. We'll see you next time.